Hello friends, welcome to Programming Concepts. My name is Amit and this is part 78 of the ASP.NET Core MVC tutorial. In this video, we will learn how to register logs in Windows event logs in ASP.NET Core. This is a continuation of part 77, console log formatting via configuration in ASP.NET Core. So please watch it before proceeding to this one. I shared the link in the description. Let's go to the Visual Studio. And this is the project which we are working with. In our previous couple of videos, we write logs to console via code and also via configuration. Let me uncomment this code from program.cs class. So here we are configuring console logging via code. It will not be configuration file. Let's change JSON console to add console and remove JSON writer options. Next, let's go to employee controller. Here you can see we already register a logging dependency. Just in case you don't know how to register logging dependency, then either watch our previous videos or for now just understand that this is the parameter we passed of type iLogger and assign this parameter to our local variable. And rest of the thing taken care by ASP.NET Core Engine. And if I scroll down, this is my index method, the home page of my application. Here I log messages with different severity levels. Alright, next, what is event logs? Let me press Windows button and search for event viewer. So this event viewer is only available to Windows operating system. If you have any other operating system, then you will not get this option. Here within Windows log, we have different categories like application, security, setup, system, and forwarded events. Windows event log is an in-depth record of events related to the system, security, and applications stored on Windows operating system. Event logs can be used to track systems and some application issues and forecast future problems. It is mainly to log things specific to applications stored on Windows system. As we are creating our application in .NET Core and will host our application in Windows as well. So in this case, we can also log our messages to event logs and can use this inbuilt event viewer tool for tracking, sorting, and filtering purposes. Alright, we will try to store our logs within application section. Another very important section is application and services logs. Here you can create your own custom category via code and store logs to them. So let me clear logs of application category for better readability and reduce any confusion like which logs generated by our application, because we may still get some logs from other application. So now we have 0 logs. Let's go to Visual Studio. And let's register services for event logger in program.cs class. So type log builder dot. So log builder dot add event log options such that curly braces and close with semicolon. Next, type options dot. And you can see we have different options available like source name, machine name, filter, log name, etc. Let's start with very basic. So we want to store our logs to application. For that, we have a property called log name. So type options dot log name is equal to application. Application is default value for log name. So even if you don't select this property, our logs will go to application. If I run this program, it will log all the logs starting with severity level warning, because by default, minimum severity level is set to warning. Let's run our application. Application runs successfully and we have logs in console. Let's go to event viewer and refresh the application logs. We have few information message from SQL Server, ignore them. We are targeting SQL Server from our application. These are created because of our interaction with SQL. Next, scroll down to bottom and we have warning. In this, you can see we have different information like event ID. We also have action ID and action name, which is proconcepts.controller.employee-controller.index. This is where we have written our logs. And the last we have message, warning, proconcepts, custom messages. Next, we have two error message. In Windows logs, both critical and error is categorized as error. So if you look at the message, second one is from error, which is error proconcepts custom message. And the last logged is from critical and the message is critical proconcepts custom message. Simple, extremely simple. Next, if you look at the source and event viewer for SQL, it is MS SQL, SQL Express 01. And for our custom logs, it is .NET Runtime, which is the default one for our .NET Core application. And all these fields are really important at the time of debug because we can apply filtering in these values. Like I can create my custom view. So just click on custom views. On the right panel, you can select custom view. Here you can see we create view on event logs. We can also select event source name, like if I want only .NET Runtime logs, then I can select from list. Rest, you can also select event ID, any keyword which you are expecting in your logs, user and computer. Let me just create without any other filter. It will ask you for name and description. Let me name it proconcepts. And click on OK. And you can see we only have logs whose source is .NET Runtime. All right, let's move on to how to set these fields via C#. Let me clear application logs once again. And let's go to Visual Studio. Let's say we want to change source name to something else. So let's type options.source_name is equal to my dummy source without space. Another very important thing which we need to make sure is register source if it is already not available. So let's provide condition for the same. And let's type if not EventLog.SourceExists my dummy source. So here first we are checking if source not exist, then we will create this source. Next, let's type EventLog.CreateEventSource. It has three overloaded methods. Let's use the second one, which required source name and log name. So type my dummy source, application. So this line will register my dummy source if it is not already created and not associated with any other log like system, etc. If you get error unable to log .NET application events, the source was not found, then use this line. Another thing to make sure is to run your Visual Studio as an admin, because this line internally puts entry in registry entry. So make sure if you are creating any new source, then run your application as an admin. All right, let's run our application. Let's go to event viewer, refresh, and you can see we have all the logs and source name is my dummy source. And we have all three messages. Let's clear all three logs once again. Let's go to Visual Studio, and what if I have to store my logs to system with same source name? Is it possible? Let's see that. Let's change application to system. And let's run our application. And we have an error in console. Let's see what it is complaining. An unhandled exception has occurred while executing the request. System.aggregate exception. An error occurred while writing to logger. The source, my dummy source, is not registered in log system. It is registered in application. The source and log property must be matched, or you may set log to empty string and it will automatically be matched to the source property. So because our source, my dummy source, already registered with application, it won't be possible to use with system. Okay, so let's use any other random source. Stop the application and let's use source name as custom system source. Let's see if it will work this time or not. Before that, let's clear both system and application logs if any. And then let's run our application. Application runs successfully. Let's go to event viewer, refresh system logs, and you can see our custom logs and the source is custom system source. Simple, extremely simple. On a similar note, if you want to log under application and services log, then give any custom name and source name and use the same approach. Let's stop the application and let's say log name be A for application, S for services, then custom logs, AS custom logs. Then source to test source. And that's it. It will work. We will see it in just a bit. Let's cover another example. Let's see how to set minimum severity level. So type options dot and try to find something related to log level or minimum level. And there is nothing. So we need to use filter to achieve this. So type options dot filter is equal to, then within brackets, category comma level. Such that then within curly braces return level greater than equal to log level dot warning. So this is self-explanatory. Our event log logger will log only those logs whose severity level is greater than or equal to warning. Let's run our application. Application run successfully. Let's restart event viewer because we created another log name. It will only be visible once we restart event viewer. Event viewer restarted and you can see we have another category called A and S custom logs. And if you click on it, you can see we have logs starting from warning. We also have 2 error logs and 1 for error and 1 for critical. Now this filter thing will get complex if you have to set different log levels for different category, or you can say namespaces. For that we have to use appsettings.json file. Let's go to appsettings.json or appsettings.development.json if you are using development environment. Just like console, let's add another section, event log. And within it, just copy and paste log levels. And comment the filter which we applied in program.cs class. And that's it. Now this logger will pick settings from JSON file. Let's clear our logs from event viewer and then run our application. Application runs successfully. Let's go to event viewer. And you can see we get logs. We have logs starting from trace as specified in our JSON config file. Simple, extremely simple. Let's cover one last example available on Microsoft site. Here in the log, you can see this is my actual computer name. Let's say we want to log these logs in some other system. Let's see how to do that. Let me copy my machine name first and then clear all those logs to avoid mess. And let's go to Visual Studio and type options.machine name. By default, it will take your machine name. I don't have any other machine in the network, so let me use my computer name. Here, make sure whatever computer name you are giving should be in your network. Let's run our application. Let's go to Event Viewer, and here you can see we get all the required logs. I didn't try that option personally with other computer or network. Let me go to the definition of machine name. And it is saying name of the machine having the event log. If null or not specified, local machine is the default. If it didn't work, do let me know in the comments. Let's quickly summarize what we had learned. So the event log provider sends logs output to the Windows event log. Unlike the other providers, the event log provider does not inherit the default non-provider setting. If event log settings aren't specified, they default to log level.warning. To log events lower than log levels.warning, explicitly set the log level. Add event log overloads can pass an event log settings. If null or not specified, the following default settings are used. For log name, it will be application. For source name, it will be .NET runtime. And machine name will be the local machine name. So that's it from this video. Hope you like our content. If you have any queries related to the content of this video, do ask me in the comments. Thanks for watching.